Whoosh. Oh, I tell you what, I know I like it tight, but this is proper tight. He shoots. And he scores. With all this weather like it is, things I get up to just to keep me koi happy, eh? Inlet, outlet. So the inlet's got to be at the very bottom. Thinking I'm going to go old school. Good morning everybody, welcome back. So it's James the Koi Whisperer. If it's your first time here, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you can, smash the like on this video. Really appreciate it. So today, coming up on this video, I'm going to be making a DIY filter. So stick around for the video, it's going to be a good one. I've got a couple of new plants to put in the garden, pot them up. Plants or trees, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, stick around for the video. I'll run you through bits and pieces, step by step, what I'm going to do, my plans of, you know, how it's going to work and everything else. But that being said, let's just crack on with the video. Right, so this is going to be a step-by-step video, but it's going to also be a go with it video, because I'm a bit unsure how I'm going to make this filter myself anyway. So basically, I've got a box there, and I'm just playing around because I've ordered that off of eBay. I ordered that off of eBay, so I wasn't sure what the quality was going to be like. I was having a bit of a shop round, and I noticed, why have I got this in my hand? I should be having my phone on this. Hang on. But yeah, so basically, I got all of these fittings. They're all second hand. These ain't no good to me, 4-inch 90s, rubber boots, but they might be good to me when I build my new pond. That being said, basically, I was after one ball valve. One ball valve, they're roughly around 29 quid each. These are the Evolution Aqua ones. Well, I managed to get everything there for 35 quid. Absolute steal. Like I said, it is second hand, but that's not a problem. So, I will be needing 2 of these. These are bulkhead fittings with cage adapters to stop the micro K1 returning back to the pond. Something that you'll need. 2-inch bulkheads. I got these from this company, but by the looks of it, this company sells absolutely everything you need. So if you need to get hold of any parts to make a project like me, go check them out. Real easy to deal with. Like I said, I purchased them too myself as well. I'm not sponsored by these guys. They just, you know, this is where I got these, just if it helps any of you guys out. Right then, so like I was saying, I'm going to be running this filter. Basically, there's a 2-inch adapter there, which is plugged up and it's not being used, and I want to use really slow flow rates through this filter, so that's why I got the bulkhead. But basically my plan is to come off of this and sit it in behind here. I want to make it so it's like sort of sitting behind the back, but we're just going to go with it and see what happens. It might work, it might not, but like I was saying, I wasn't sure on the quality. I went with this box here to start with, thinking that it's a decent size. I'll be able to fill it with K1. Also, I like the idea of it being red and black. I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe that there, with everything else that I've got going on in the pond, you know, everything red, black going on, I thought maybe if I sit it behind there, it will look quite cool. Only downside to this box, it's not quite as sturdy as what I wanted it to be. So, all I did last night was just literally fill it with water just to see what, you know, what it would be like, because I'm not going to be filling it much more than this. It has got a couple of holes in here, which was a bit of a problem. I didn't realise I can seal these up anyway, or I might even run a support across them, but I'm just going to play around with this anyway today. But I filled it up with water. That's probably about the maximum height of water that I'm going to put in it anyway. Might go slightly a bit higher. I've still got a good 2 inches to play with there anyway, but my biggest concern was that, I mean, I'm pushing on that, but it's not as sturdy as what I wanted it to be. But we'll have a play around. That's why I've got 2 options, because I went with this one as well, just to see. This one here is a B&M 6.99. I obviously I ordered this offline, but you can get it from B&M. But this here is a really sturdy box. The thickness of the plastic on this one is like solid, and it does say on this one that it can be shower and frost resistant, suitable for indoor and outdoor. So this is a better quality box, but it's not quite as big. So I'm going to probably play with both today, see what happens. But the idea behind it is straightforward. So what I need to do is have my bulkhead coming in at the bottom, down there. And then I need to have another bulkhead coming out the return at the top. And then obviously fill it with K1 media, fit an air stone in the bottom of it. And then we'll have a really cheap, easy K1 moving bed filter. We'll play around with it, see what works out with that one, see what works out with that one. And obviously I've got a load of pipe fittings. I'm not going to need all of these pipe fittings, but I'll wriggle this together to show you what I need just to get it off of the Epic filter. There's cheaper ways of doing it, I expect, but like I said, I don't think for cheapness that I'll be able to get all of what I did for the same money as what I paid for it. So let's just crack on, have a go. I've got my drill bits out, my hole saw bits, so I'll be able to have a good old sword out, and I think I'm going to be needing 2.5 inch, 64mm. That's the size I'll need for my bulkhead. So basically, if anyone's never done this before, you need a hole saw for the thickness of what your bulkhead is. I'll unscrew this in a minute and I'll show you how to do it. But basically, we're looking for the thickness for the screw thread to go through the box. Right then, so this is the idea. I just tied my tree up, done a little bit of a butcher's knot in there, perks on the job, just to give myself a bit of playing room. So this is the idea. Run a 2-inch straight off the Epic, run a 2-inch, and then from there I'll be running straight on into the filter box. Straightforward, really easy to do, and it's just a bit of an add-on really. Right then guys, chest waders on, bit of a change of plan. So that big red box that I had doesn't actually down there doesn't actually fit where I want it to go, to be fair. I sat it over in the position over here and it sticks out like a sore thumb. I really don't like it. So I'm going to use the smaller box. I'm going to hide it in behind the back. I mean, everything that I'm doing here now is only just, you know, I'm just playing around with it. I chop and change stuff all the time. Prototype of me seeing what the flow rates run off of the Epic filter sort of thing, the way, because it probably shouldn't be done like this, but I'm just playing around with it, you know. It's my pond, my equipment, I can just do what I want to do, you know what I'm saying? But that's it, I'm just having a bit of a play around, but yeah, change of plan. It's one of these situations when you think, was it worth me starting this job or not? But yeah, we're just going to crack on and get it done on that type of stay focused, stay positive, and let's get it done. Right then, so just before I fit my bulkhead on, basically, from the inside measurements of there, I've got it dead center, and I want the inlet to be as low as possible. So this here basically is going to stick through, and it's going to shine out like that. So the inlet's got to be at the very bottom, and then the outlet has got to be whatever height that you want your container to fill of water, if you get me drift. Because if you have it the same height, then the water will only be the same height. But if I have the inlet down the bottom and then the outlet up the top, then it will fill to water to that level, if you get me drift, for those people that don't know. Like a glove. I'll place the bulkhead in, give it a bit of a turn up, make sure you got your rubber washer on. I'll tighten it up in a second. That goes on like that, and then what you do, you got this little cage fitting. There is adapters that you can get what comes with it. If you want to solvent weld it, like so, and then set it so the water returns to the middle. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to put this one straight on. Have your screw thread like so. This one doesn't need a rubber washer because it's just going to be inside of the box, so it doesn't matter if it leaks. Tighten that one up. Job done. Do exactly the same to this side, the outlet. So that's the inlet. That'll be the outlet. It will stop the K1 ever going back down the pipe. Not that it's really necessary to have this one on there as well, but you know, you just as well put it on and then put another one on here. Win-win. Right then, so where we're at, I've dismantled a bit of the back of the fence, drill set out, took away the plant, took down the frog, and that's where we're at the moment. So basically I had to shorten it down. This box now is sat perfectly where I want it to be. The outlet pipe's going to come out here and then either through this first hole or through the second hole. All depends which works out best. Probably be the second hole, to be fair, because I still put the rocks back over that part in a second. Yeah, so the idea now, what I've got to try to do is work out obviously that pipe fitting from there to get it to connect down to where I need it to go. Tools out everywhere here, guys. You have to excuse the mess, but I'll get it right in a bit. So I need to go from there to there. Nothing major, it's just making sure or seeing if I've got the right size pipe fitting so I can get down to that part where I want it to go. But leave it with me, I'll get it done like I always do. I have had the chest waders on, been in the pond again. But yeah, it'll look quite tidy there because you won't even see it. So it'll run straight off of here into there, have a moving bed filled with K1, and then back to the pond. Like I said, it's just a little bit of fun for a minute, playing around, see what we can do. Things I get up to just to keep me koi happy, eh? Always find that you cut the pipe and you're about that much too short. Always remember when you cut your pipe to allow for fittings to go inside of another fitting before you do your measurement. What's it they say? Measure twice, cut once. Well, I'm cutting twice, I measured once. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits. So we're coming on nicely now. I've still got bits to do. I've got to fit a rubber boot on the bottom of that. But I just thought I'd take you up because you're seeing it as I'm seeing it. I just done a little bit of a test. Plumb that into there. This one's still running at the moment, and it will carry on to run. I'm going to carry on running my return down to there as well. Just means that I'm only running this filter at 10%, 15% on the actual pump. So the idea of me having the ball valve on there, I'm going to have such a slow flow rate going through this moving bed, so it's got a lot more dwell time in the moving bed as well. It's just literally just a bit of an add-on, really, bit more biological media, because I have found since I took away the moving bed that I had down the bottom down there, my water quality with the ammonia is always fine, but the nitrate, I have slightly started to get a little bit of nitrate recently. This is part of the reason why I just thought I'll add on this little one, see what's going on. But there's a little bit of muck in there because obviously taking out this pipe fitting, connecting a new pipe fitting up, and just out of interest, I was hell of a surprised on the back of my end cap, what used to be against there, all the bacteria on that is unbelievable, and that there's bad bacteria. That's not healthy for your pond. That there's surprising. That there's really, I mean, this filter's not very old. I haven't had it very long, and that is proper surprising how much muck's in that. But yeah, everything's looking all right at the moment. So I've plumbed that into there. That runs onto there. I've got to fit the air stone. I'll do that bit in a minute. But at the moment, like anything, you just get it up and running. Make sure you got no leaks. It is slightly draining off still at the moment there. But yeah, just basically just making sure I've got no leaks at the moment. Right then, so she's up and running. Water's coming out. I haven't touched the speed on the pump yet. I've just lowered it right down. This is super slow now. But what I want to do is open up this valve until I'm just skimming off the very top of here. Then I'm going to turn the pump up, which I've got down there. I'm going to turn that up to about 30, running at about a 30% now. So I'm still taking water from the top, just returning straight back to the pond. But through this system, I'm probably only going to be turning over roughly around 100 gallons an hour. So it's going to be super slow, but it's just playing around. It's just a bit of a prototype, because I'm going to get a box like this made up to go do 1 meter one in length. The backy river that I was going to do, I've decided to knock that one on the head. Pretty much down to how much it's going to cost, and some of the reviews on them, they're not as good as what they're made out to be. Maybe, I'm not sure, to be fair. But yeah, I've decided to knock that one on the head. I'm going to go with this idea for a little bit, try this out and see how we get on. But yeah, I'm more than happy with how it's all going at the moment. Next job, I've got to whack myself in an air stone now, or an air pipe of some description. Right then, so I've just been in my shed having a bit of a dig around. There's all my koi equipment, and I keep spares of pumps and everything else in here. So basically, I got sent this air ring from the same company as where I got all the those tank connectors, what I was showing you earlier on. Cracking product, but it is designed more, I would say, to go inside of your pond itself, because it gives off a really fine air. So I'm thinking I'm going to go old school. I've got a load of this left over. I bought all of this cheap. Someone was selling it all off on eBay a few years back. Well too much from what I needed, but I got it bargain cheap. So I've got 100 meters of airline there, and I'm just going to use a standard, the old school, you know, can't even remember what they're called now. Air stones. Yeah, the old school air stones. So I did have a play around with this. I did think about using it. That is a more powerful pump on it now as well, but it's a real fine air. So I don't think that'll be enough to get the K1 moving around as much as I want it to be moving around in there. But we'll see. We'll have a play around, see what's going on, and then I've got to tidy up all the garden. He shoots. And he scores. God, I tell you what, I know I like it tight, but this is proper tight. There we go. Lovely jubbly. So one airline there, another airline there, one air stone. I'll fit this air stone, and then we'll fire her up and see what her's looking like. Lovely jubbly. Right then, so I've fitted both of them two now. I will have a bit of a play around. I might pin them down a little bit better, but just going to fire up the air now and see what happens. I've got one line fired up. There she goes, look. I'll just play around with this bit here. I might have to set it in the right position. But there's plenty of air, oxygen going into there to keep the K1 moving around. I suppose the next job is to get the K1 in there and see what it looks like. Because it's old media, I'm just making sure I'm just boiling a couple of boiling hot waters over the top of it, just in case there is any parasite in there. The boiling hot water will kill them off. Right then, you're going to see it as I'm going to see it. So in here I've got standard K1, and then I've got micro K1. You can tell the difference in the sizes. You get it up close. So there's a mixture. It's boiling hot still. I've had that filled with water now. For the boiling hot water, I keep filled up the kettle about 10 times to keep it roasting hot. But hopefully, you can still see the steam coming off of it. Hopefully there's no parasite. I did soak this in PP before I packed it away. I soaked it in PP for a week, so there shouldn't be anything on there, unless I had fluke and I didn't realise it. But fluke generally dies when it's dry anyway, but Costia doesn't die even if it's wet. So go with one full tub to start with. We'll just see how it goes. I'm not really that sure how much this tub will hold or what it will take, but we'll find out as we go. Just be interested. Like I said, I'm not really that worried about. I'll probably find this stuff everywhere now in the next couple of days, because it does make a bit of a mess. That's 2 full tubs. Sorry about the video in here, guys. I reckon it'll just handle all of it, to be fair. Chuck it all in there and see how it goes. I might have to get some more. I've got plenty more anyway, so that's ideal. The more I can get in there, the better it is. Yeah, that's coping with that more than well enough, so I reckon I can get a good another half amount in that anyway. There we have it then. So I ended up putting a full 12 litres in and a little bit extra, like you do. I'm not going to put any more in for a minute. I'm just going to see how that gets on, because I want to have, like I've got it, I want to make sure that everything keeps moving. Obviously I don't want no dead spots there. I've got a slight little dead spot over there, but to be fair, I could always run another airline in there in a minute, or just see how I get on for a couple of days. I could even I could even add, to be fair, like the flat air stones are a lot better than those balls. If I had a flat air stone in there, it gives more air in one place. But I'm happy with that, it's working all right. I've got a little bit of a, obviously if anything does get blocked up, there's enough playing room for the water still to escape. So that's part of the reason why I went with a 2-inch, because it's running off gravity. So it's still skimming off the top there. It's coming through both angles there. And then I've got that ball valve on there, which I've just turned down. That's part of the reason why I wanted the ball valve on there, so I can control the speed, the flow rates coming through. And yeah, it's looking well good, to be fair. More than happy with how things are turning out. It's typical British weather. You start your job and then it pees down, but it ain't gonna stop me. Got the bib and brace on. I just had to bring the tools in here for a second. And well, let's just finish up, get wet and get it done. You just got to get in amongst it, I say. So what I'm going to do, I've got some of these left over, pure pond balls. I'm going to chuck that in the moving bed as well, just to help kickstart it off a bit. Let's get it in there now. Dum dum. Ooh, dum 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 dum. Whoosh. Chuck them in there like that. Lovely jubbly. I could probably get more K1 in there, to be fair, but I'm happy with that for a minute. Leave it be, let it mature, take a little bit of time, and winner chicken dinner. Lovely jubbly. That's the plant back in place. That's the lid on. I just got to do a little bit of adjustment here. Basically, I've got a rubber fit in there, so if any of the fish do swim up or bang themselves against it, there's a lot less chance of any damage to the koi with a rubber fit in there. But I'm more than happy with that. I'm going to cut back my bush in a minute, blend it all in. Winner chicken dinner, I like that. And I love being at one with the pond. Happy days. Jesus Lord. What are you doing, man? I start a job and it is peeing down. And you think, how am I out in this weather? Well, I'm not. I'm actually in the pond. Chilling out with me koi. Just relaxing. And I thought I ain't getting out the pond when it's weather like that. It is blowing an absolute hoolie out here. But more than happy with this. It looks like it's definitely a test. But it looks like I'm gonna have to drill a hole into the top of that box just to allow water to travel into the box instead of leaving it sat on the box. But it's no big issue, but this is a storm like no other. So on that note, guys, with all this weather like it is, I'm going to finish up the video here. The filter's made, the pond sorted, happy ponding, and I'll catch you on the next one.